Thursday, July 20, 2023. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnnie Rosario.
And welcome to our studios, Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Troy and Johnny. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Again, advance Happy Liberation.
Oh yes, Happy Liberation Day. You're going to enjoy the
block party. Happy block
Is there
party.
a block party tomorrow?
Block party, yeah.
There's no parade, man.
I know.
But we're still going to party.
Where was that?
And let's just hope, what's his name? What's his name?
Ray Tenor
was not there.
No one tried to take a gun out of a cop's...
the Glock party.
Yeah. Let's not do any of that.
No, it's an again, yeah, not too much.
When we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to speak with Senator Lujan about the school situation, get us all caught up on what's happening with that and the realistic timelines that they are, and the senator's thoughts on what the government of Guam and Guam Department of Education should be telling parents now, because we're 30 days away?
Just about, yeah.
Just about 30 days away from the opening of school, from the supposed opening of school. We want to talk to him about the politics going on from the Republican perspective. What's going on between the Democrats, Adeluke versus Chris Barnett, his Senator Lujan's colleague. And then after we have Senator Lujan on the show, we'll bring you the magistrate's reports, and then we'll talk a little bit about tax refunds and stuff like that
and
in the third segment. And road rage. Road rage as well. We still haven't identified the victims, assailants. I don't know who they are. I don't know what the story is.
We got a report
from GPD.
GPD just sent it in like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I love GPD.
Yes.
Gee, you are awesome, GPD. When we come back from this short commercial break, we'll start our first segment of the show with Senator Lujan. Welcome back to the show. This morning's leaderboard from 76 Circle K says observation can be more informative than conversation. However, over the next 30 minutes or so, that's going to be in reverse. We're going to converse this.
Okay.
And for everyone to observe what it is we're going to talk about. Senator, let's start with how realistic is it that there can be a white knight and shining armor moment and someone is going to be able to save the situation and reopen all of the public schools by the intended start date?
Well, Troy and Johnny, I got to say, it's very realistic. You and Johnny know this as well as I do. You probably know it even more than I do. You worked for a governor, a governor in the past. You know the powers of the governor, the same powers that the governor had then. The governor now has the same powers. If it were back then, you would utilize all the mechanisms that you had. Guam being the one governor out of all the governors on the 50 states and territories has the most power of all of the governors around. And having said that, there's no reason why that we can't get the schools open. In the past, we've always dealt with money situations. Where's the money going to come from? We're overflowing with money, according to the governor's office. So money is no issue at this point. According to the governor's office, money is no issue. Personnel, we know that this administration, since they came in, I think the employment count in Governor Guam has increased by 2,000 plus. So we don't have the lack of personnel. We don't have lack of money. But what we have is the lack of the will to get it done. And the unfortunate thing is that our school kids that will be starting in a few weeks are the ones suffering. And you said the bickering between the two branches of government is it shouldn't happen, because we have the resources to be able to do it. And if this is about who is going to be in Adelup, we already know who's in Adelup at this point. It's not down the future. It's right now. This is an opportunity to shine, and it's not necessarily about to shine. This is an opportunity to make our kids shine, and we don't lack the resources and manpower at this point to get it done.
So the governor yesterday sent out a news release about how she has directed the Guam National, or she's activated the Guam National Guard to do some cleaning. She's engaged U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to remove debris from school sites. But what you're saying is that this has been possible in the past.
Sure.
Though in the past we haven't, I mean, last time there was a summertime school cleanup where all GovGuam agencies were involved was 5 years ago during the Eddie Calvo administration.
Sure.
Governor Luliangaro has not done this.
Sure.
But the difference is, aside from the pile up of more deferred maintenance issues in the schools of 5 years, right? But the other thing is, I believe we started the effort in June, and it's already almost the end of July.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, you're talking about the National Guard being basically deployed to do such from the governor. That's one of the things that I asked the new superintendent, Dr. Swanson, a couple days ago during the oversight hearing. I said, how much collaboration are you having with the administration? They said, well, we've had some communication, and she had promised me that she would help in whatever she can. And I'm going, in whatever she can, well, what is it that she cannot help with at this point? And I said, she can mobilize the National Guard to be able to do some cleaning. She can mobilize public works. She can mobilize, of course, public health. She can mobilize whatever agency under the executive branch to be able to do so. And if she needs, all she needs to do is ask the judiciary, ask the legislative branches to be able to help as well. And you know what? They'll be happy to do it.
Okay, I have, so the Guard has been cleaning the schools for the last month. Okay,
2
only
months, I think, right?
4 schools have been done. Okay, this full funding thing, they removed all the debris from the 4 schools. They brought it out because they're only allowed to bring it out. So it's out in the parking lot. They need somebody to also take that debris, put it on the roadside, so so the people who are in charge of picking up the debris and bringing it to the sites can do that.
It's kind of amazing.
Almost weird.
It's amazing to me that wasn't part of the planning process. The removal of that. Only part A of the planning process was executed. Now, what do we do about that? All that pile up. I didn't know about this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like buying a ticket from here to LA, and then after that, where do I go? What am I going to do?
Yeah,
after that?
You know, you're right. Yeah, yeah, it is.
So that's the process right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, it's really common sense, and I don't know. I don't know how to defend that. I don't know how to defend, not having that, planning to be able to do something like that. You said, hey, we've moved the debris from here to here. Now we're lacking the personnel to move this to there.
And they can only take Marwar. Okay, the people that were contracted to remove the debris is only Marwar debris. This is not everything in the school.
So I guess at this point, when the winds of Marwar have patented molecules, I guess. So when they attach to whatever it is that it's going to destruct, it's going to have a code or some kind of things that I'm Marwar connected. Therefore.
I'm sorry, you guys are. This is the new sandwich of typhoon. It's Marwar, you two.
Marwar. What did I call it? Marwar?
You both said Marwar. Like sandwich.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Chad. I'm tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, wait. So and we'll get to the tit for tat, right? But and I just wanted to explain that the reason I haven't really read the news releases coming out of the governor's office regarding the schools and from Senator Chris Barnett is because I see it for what it is. Is that it's a political fight, and it's not about the schools. It's really about Adelup, right? But I digress. I thought that one of the news releases, or maybe even more, from the governor's office, number one, blamed this situation on Public Law 34-7, which was the thing that commanded DOE and public health to follow sanitation and health and safety inspection rules and regulations, etc. And also that Adelup is saying maybe the legislature should repeal the law. And if that is what Adelup's saying, Senator, I have to say, I do not agree with that.
Let's go back. Let's go back to that, because you just finished saying the public law that commanded them to adhere,
follow the law,
follow the rules and regulations. That was 5 years ago. Almost 5 years ago. We're 4 years into that.
And it
right
was
now.
going to expire, right?
Yeah, it was going to expire. So again, when you look at that, it wasn't something new. It was something that reinforces what should have been done through rules and regs back in 2019. And so here we are. Say, hey, look, you didn't do it. It hadn't been done. So you have this time frame to be able to do it. So you know what we're going to do? It's no longer rules and regs. It's now going to be law that you have to be done. So what was once a rules and regs back in 2019 is now law. And so with that being said, you're gonna blame something that you solidified that was already there. You just made it now into something, into law that mandates you now to be able to do something. I mean, to clean it up and to make sure they pass all sanitary permitting processes. And so that being said, you can't blame on something that was already there. It's already there. It's like some people. I mean, the Japanese that come here to get married, right? They're already married. Okay, they just come here to get a
bells and whistles.
Bells and whistles and things like that. But they're already married. They're already married.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So they're already married. So the rules and regs is already there. They've been mandated to do so, and now it's just, hey, now you have to do it because look, it's gonna expire. So I think that's where the impasse between Senator Barnett and the governor is at this point, where she's saying this, and of course Senator Barnett and I 100% agree, and we agree in the legislature. You got to get this done, because too often we think just being satisfactory is a luxury thing for our kids.
Well, it's not satisfactory.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
but to bring it to satisfactory level is a luxury item, right? It's a luxury thing, and it's not if you just bring it to satisfactory. But it is not what we're telling you to do. You need to bring it. At what point are you not? Because again, you have money. We even gave them more money to be able to do to get this done, right? And then on top of that, the more incentive, the 22% that was given to folks, right? And so I think that's where the impasse is in that, and Governor Liu was saying, well, I don't have the personnel, I don't have the inspectors to be able to do it, because actually when they came to testify in the very beginning, when that bill was, or when that law was still a bill, they came in already armed and ready and said, we won't be able to do it because we don't have the staff. We don't have the staff. It's coming in and telling us already how we cannot do things, instead of coming in and saying how we can do things, because now we don't like the money. Okay, now we don't like the money. If they have personnel, I mean, we talked about deputizing people to be able to do. Why don't we do that? Why don't we deputize us? We'll help and do things like that. I mean, we've got deputy marshals and everything that you can help deputize and tell them how to inspect certain things, and so I don't buy it for a bit. I don't buy that we can't get it done. We can get it done because in the past the resources that we lacked was money. Money was the main thing. Now it's not. So what is now? I mean, the governor, she says, I don't have the powers of the Department of Education. I don't have the powers. Really, you don't.
But she didn't mind taking credit for education stuff during the campaign.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And she had the power at the time, during the pandemic, that if you weren't vaccinated, they're going to get rid of you. She had those powers. I mean, she didn't stop those powers from the Department of Education to let go of teachers that weren't vaccinated.
Before moving on to the whole political tit for tat, let me just ask you if anyone's considered what happens to teachers and staff who would work at those schools that don't open on time? Do they continue to get paid? Like, how does that all work?
Well, I'm sure they will continue to get paid because that's the school season. That's when it's supposed to start. It's not their fault.
But they're not reporting to work.
Well, they may report, to the school. They just can't get in. And so one of my questions is so if we're going to go to online learning, based on the statistics and the printout that the department had given to us, only 43% of their schools will be able to at this point have internet service. And I'm saying, well, okay, if these schools don't open, even if they have internet service, the schools don't open and they're closed down, how are teachers going to teach? How are they going to go into the classrooms to be able to teach, right? And you expect them to go home and teach online? How do we know that all the teachers are online, that they have internet services? How do we know that all the kids have internet services? They would have to redistribute those iPads again. Where are those iPads at? Who has possession of them? I mean, are they getting it ready for distribution at this point? So these are the questions, again, that even when you say online, you're going to say a great portion of kids are not going to be able to be educated online because of the fact that maybe their internet service, or they're still living in temporary homes at this point. I mean, likewise, teachers and administrators at this point as well. We can't assume that every single teacher or student is got that service up and going.
Would you agree that this is a big cluster F?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I can, if we can look and point out where the shortfall is and funding and things like that, then we can say, well, okay. But we can't do that. So as you said, this is a big cluster. This is a big cluster, absolutely, yeah.
She should just bow out and let Josh handle it.
Yeah.
Bow out.
Yeah. And since the typhoon, and people would argue even before the typhoon, but I'm just going to say since the typhoon, because it was a very public thing, the governor has seemed just very publicly to lack the ability to manage the government of Guam. I mean, it's just it's really in our faces right now. And she did a poor job with disaster recovery management. And now that we've got this situation with the schools, it makes me very afraid for another typhoon. Not because of, whatever punches God throws at us through a natural disaster, but more so our response to it and how it will be coordinated.
The people suffering that depend on these services. There's other issues with the schools not opening, and that's the mental health of children.
Oh yeah.
The anxiety of being at home, but also there was issues with kids at home doing online during COVID, right? They're not listening to the teacher because the parent is there. The parents trump the teacher. So if they're spoiled kids, they're not listening, So the education, it's just that.
A cluster F.
Yes, the kids that are hungry, that depend on school to eat.
Yes.
The kids that need to that don't have running water, they get to school early so they can shower.
All of these things need to be planned for over the next 30 days.
And actually, it's even less than that, Troy. Less than 30 days because, I mean, in 30 days, these kids have to be in school already and being educated and things of that nature. You're beyond the planning anymore. This is, where we are at, the distance between here and the education, you're beyond planning anymore. It's not a planning stage. This is an implementation stage already at this point.
What was Dr. Wampat doing for the past 5 months since this became a public law? I want to know, because all of this planning should have been going on during that period, knowing that DOE wouldn't pass these assessments. And what was public health doing this entire time? Were they even communicating about what the possibilities would be and the realistic nature of the opening of the schools? Or did everyone just wait for the Attorney General to start indicting people?
Well, let me go back just a little bit here. Right after the storm, we were and the shelters that were being used, and we were saying, hey, why don't we open up the schools? Some of the schools that were ready to I mean, one of them was Chief Brody. Let's open that because I know that.
I remember this conversation.
Mayor Luis and I and the Vice Mayor of Tamuning were advocates of opening that because just the hideous situation, and you saw that
that warehouse
that the folks were being housed at. And everybody had told us, no, we can't do that because we're preparing the schools for opening. We're preparing for school. That was the gist of what they were saying when we said let's open the schools because this is an urgent need right now for the evacuees. We're preparing the schools for opening. We're preparing the schools for opening. We're going to be open here in a couple of months. Okay, well here we are. Okay, we never used the schools. Okay.
And they're not prepared for
and they're not prepared. So I don't know where that preparation was, in doing as such. So like you said earlier, where's the planning? Where we're at this point is beyond planning. The implementation already on what is happening, just the nice things now are the teachers are going in, supposed to be doing the nice things now, putting on,
out of their own pockets.
Out of their own pockets, yeah. Because my mom was a retired school teacher, so I know because we helped her just before 2 or 3 weeks before school. She's going into her first grade class, putting up her ABCs and all these things that she had cut out and bought. And it's just really lively.
Pride.
Very bright.
Into teaching our children.
Absolutely.
And this is a shout out to all of the teachers.
Absolutely.
A shout out to all of our public school teachers who are enduring
Can I
this.
just say, these teachers went to school, they got their certificates. Why is this something they have to worry about? They've provided the how to teach your children and how what to do with these children. Why is it so? Why do they have to worry about those things?
And the other thing, and people don't talk about this, but me being a former athlete as well, you're going to deprive the kids again of interscholastic sports, And I was talking to Senator Frank the other day during a public hearing. I said, if these were back in the States, especially the seniors at this point, right, going into their senior year, first quarter sports, which is football and things like that. This is where they're really scouted, right? This is really scouted, and in what colleges and things like that, solidified, and sending letters of intents and things like that, to the colleges to be able to get in. I said, and we have that to some extent here because we have some scouts that come here to either maybe D1 or D2 schools, right? And I said, they would be livid. Parents would be livid if they didn't have this because they're deprived their kids of a possible full ride or maybe a good portion of a ride to go to college. I said, we have to be that we have to feel the same way as this at this point because it may not be for athletic scholarships, but the academics that our kids are missing out. And we're saying, and we've already seen, some of the results of what the pandemic has done to education and our kids' online education. That they're, not just Guam but nationwide, and their math scores has really fallen down as a result of that, and so at this point. We are inducing it. It's not Mawar that's inducing it. It's not the pandemic that's inducing it. It's government induced at this point.
It's government incompetence.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's switch gears to the political fight. So you're a Republican.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm going to guess that you've been looking at this whole Adelup versus Chris Barnett thing, and sometimes shaking your head, oftentimes laughing. Sometimes looking at what the political landscape might look like for Republicans in 2026 in the gubernatorial election. Because, let's be frank here. Would you agree that much of this tit for tat has everything to do with Adelup fearing Chris Barnett and maybe Therese Terlahi running together in 2026?
I think 110%.
Okay. And so when you look at that and when you consider what that is, aside from the laughing that you do, when you see these things happening, What do you think about Republicans in 2026?
Well, first of all,
how are the Republicans
first of all, before I say what I think the Republicans and how they feel at this point, myself as well as my colleagues in Republicans are very disappointed because, again, in the past, and I've served in the past, and most all of us in the Republican Party, with the exception of Senator Tom Fisher, had served in the past, and we knew the challenges back then. The challenges were financial, were money situations. Now we don't have those same challenges, right? And so we're
thanks to the federal government.
Thanks to the federal government, absolutely. So we're saddened at the fact that we're seeing this because there are no it's not a positive for our kids. And the unfortunate thing with that situation, there are victims, right? There are victims, and the victims are our kids, our families, and the education and the economic and educational prosperity for our island. Those are the victims. We are the victims of that, and that's so sad. So getting to your point in regards to how does this look for Republicans, I think it's a great thing, Republicans. During our leadership, I mean, we're conservative Republicans. We look at things in a conservative manner, and I think it's very promising for the Republican Party. We just need to be able to entice more candidates to come out and run. But when they see situations such as this, whether it's Republican or Democrat, people are turned off by that and wanting to, what are we going to do? And they were just going to, so I mean, it doesn't bode well to entice candidates to run by the way things are going, and they're going to say, well, we're going to run, and we still have the same governor, and things of that nature, right? So those are the things we're hearing. But in regards to us enticing candidates to be able to run, and if they they feel that calling, and after prayers and things like that, and consultation with their family, and they decide to do that, I think we have a good chance to get a majority. Absolutely, sure.
What do you do every time you see an email come in from the governor's office or a response from Senator Chris Barnett?
Well, to be honest with you, Troy, I don't read those things as well because I know what the responses are, right? I know, and like you said, the tit for tat, and so I already know what the responses are, right? And I go back to what I asked a few months ago when I asked former speaker, acting superintendent at the time, Governor Judy Wampat, I said, are we in a state of an emergency, right? And then because at that time we said we have to proclaim it, right? And then I sent a letter to the governor to proclaim a state of emergency for the public school system, right? And so she didn't have the power to do so. So the other day, I had asked the new superintendent, Dr. Swanson, I said, Dr. Swanson, what would you say? And I think at this point, he wasn't trying to be political. I think he was just trying to see where things are at and how things are run. And I think he had a genuine answer. I said, so Dr. Swanson, would you say we were in a state of emergency, or are we in a state of urgency? He said, we are in a state of extreme urgency. That's pretty close to an emergency to me, like half alive, or something like that, right? And so that being said by the superintendent, how could that message not be conveyed to the governor and to her handlers and saying, hey, look, save the day then, man. Never mind this. I mean, you're the governor. Nobody else is the governor right now. Never mind who wants to be governor in what, 4 years, 3 years, 3+ years. Never mind. You're the governor right now.
Which seems to be the focus of this tit for tat.
And again, it is sad.
Yeah.
It is very sad, and we should all be very upset because this is the problem right now, and we can cure it. We can fix it because we have the mechanism, we have the tools that we never had before to be able to fix it.
I think this closure of schools is a long time coming. I'm not surprised by it one bit. I do not support the reopening of these schools without those permits.
Sure.
Without them actually passing the inspections, just like any restaurant. is supposed to pass an inspection, or any office building is supposed to pass an inspection. More so, schools that have children in them need to pass these inspections.
Troy, on a yearly basis, you got to get your car inspected, right? They won't let you pass it if one of your blinkers is not working.
Yeah. The most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah. So
thanks, legislature.
So if they, that's why they want you to buy a new car, because when you buy a new car, it's good for, I think, 3 years, right?
Oh, boy.
Something like that, right? Yeah. But anyway, so if they won't allow you to do something like that, imagine. I mean, again, in our schools, right? And just to have them go to the conditions that these schools are at. I mean, would you fly in a plane with something like that?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm terrified of flying.
Absolutely, it's bad enough you have fear of flying. So these are the things, again, that even when you bring them up to adequate stuff, right? I mean, most people look at it as, be a luxury stuff. Adequate doesn't mean you're in luxury setting. And so that's what I'm saying at this point. We need, we're not even saying getting up to adequate. We're saying let them pass, okay? Let them pass, and that pass doesn't necessarily have to be an A, maybe a B minus, or something like that, but not necessarily an A.
All the ones that passed had C's.
Yeah.
No school had a B or an A.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, so that's an average, right? That's an average. So it's not. I mean,
according to my dad, that would have been a beating with the belt.
Yeah. See how talo?
You're always talking in class.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So those are the things I'm saying at this point. There is absolutely no excuse, because we have the resources, we have the know-how, we have the expertise, and we have a lot of smart people, and we have the people that can do it. It's just, it's not being done. And I have no answers to that.
What about that grant? The grant at Guam Department of Labor, the labor grant.
Which one?
The one for whoever was out of work and they need the cleanup people. They're hiring them to clean.
There's 200 some people.
Those as well could be mobilized as well. Yeah, the people who maybe lost their jobs. No, absolutely. You can do all that. Absolutely. That can all be done. That can all be done. If the governor says, okay, look, we're gonna proclaim one day next week, all GovGuam employees, our directors and deputies and everything like that, we're gonna pick a school. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna go from 8 to 5. Whatever, let's get this done. She can do that.
Yeah.
She can absolutely do that. And then ask the judiciary, can you help us out with that? They'll be glad to do that. You ask the legislative branch, would you be able to do that? Be happy to do that. We're doing that now. We're doing that now. So I don't see any reason other than you've been saying the tit for tat and who's going to be there in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, and the people of Guam should be livid about this, and demand
action.
Demand action. Call the governor's office. Call the senatorial office. Our phone rings off the hook. And demand and get it done, and demand come together. And that, Governor, I pray, please, I pray, come together with the legislature. We can get this done. We have the resources. We don't lack the money. Let's open the schools. Please put favor. You can do this. We can do this. Together we can.
You know what you guys should do, just to put pressure on Adelup to do something? Mm-hmm. The legislature, just go talk to the Speaker and Senator Barnett and the Republicans, and everyone get together and decide to have to do the adopt a school thing. And so each of the senatorial offices would adopt a school for cleanup, and you just muster up your family and your volunteers.
We can't do that. The only thing at this point is, we don't have the mechanisms like maybe public works or public health, in regards to what they need to do to be able to sign off. I mean, we can do this, but we want to make sure that the standards are fine. I mean, we can work alongside them. That's fine. We can work alongside them. Please, let's work together. Yeah. Not just us, because we want to make sure we're getting it done right.
But if you guys announce something, it puts the pressure on Adelup to do something.
Yeah. You're right. You're good. That's right.
Just as a PR person, that's exactly what I would do. Embarrass the governor into doing something. Thank you so much, Senator Lujan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I know you have a big thing today.
I want to say, yeah, no, you know, I tell you, we just got the numbers this morning. We're north, way north of 400 now.
For the showing of Carrera to our survivors and their families,
for the showing of
right?
Carrera this afternoon at 3 o'clock at the Sand Castle. My office had joined up, the office of Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan joined up with, of course, the Guam Visitors Bureau, the Mayor's Council of Guam, the Baldega Group, and of course KOM Communications, right? In hosting the show for war survivors and the guests, and some of them bring their families. And no, we're just so honored and pleased and just elated to be able to host them this afternoon. And
beautiful. It is a beautiful thing you guys did.
Yeah. Well,
my grandparents were war survivors. They hardly talked about it though. They're not alive anymore. Yeah. But I heard some of the stories. And stay tuned for my story on the war tomorrow. So in the absence of a parade, Kandit will put out a story.
There we go. Yeah, thank you. And then happy liberation to everybody. My understanding that I know they're bringing out a former, I don't know if it's a Marine that was supposed to be here for the parade, but he's out here as well. Okay. And I think if he's up to it, he might be there this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So I hope to meet him. I hope they'll be able to make it, and we'll recognize him and introduce him to the folks that are going to be there. It's going to be a great show. Have you seen the show?
No.
You haven't seen the show? No. Come on down if you have time.
If our schedule permits today.
Schedule permits, come on down, because it's a beautiful show, and I think and we hope again that in hosting this that this will bring some joy to the hearts of course the war survivors. Brighten up their spirits and things like that, and create new memories. Create new memories in moving forward. So that's what we want to do. And again, it's a Las Vegas doesn't have anything in us, because we got this, Guam. And I want to thank the Baldega Group, of course, Mark Baldega. Thank you very much, because when we approached him about it, before we finished our sentence, it was absolutely we're going to do it.
Well, that's awesome.
Nice.
Good job, Mark Baldega.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time during this segment. When we come back from this commercial break, Johnny and I will be bringing you the magistrate's reports, and then after that, our third segment will be about tax refunds and all that stuff when we come back. Thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Stick with us.
feel that this environment is for anybody that wants to try something new. Whether it is CrossFit or powerlifting, we offer a safe space for someone who's never been athletically inclined to try something that they've never done before.
Ilinala Ipalawan, Sinyabula, Minaletnya, Agan Bravo, Itata Taunya.
Yet cervical cancer continues to pose a constant risk to women today due to low awareness.
Cervical cancer pasiye masek lan matan sa kontilokinyaki. Fingom somono, pap smear and HPV vaccination isa na kashing tilokinya.
Dapat ko rabil amla mugar. Ego mga laklangan rabil. Nagtamarera rin mo raw usong ala. Yang raw guru la. Ramak nitalak ta. Raktel om aralir.
Ang mga babaeng may edad 21 pataas ay kailangang magpabaptes kada 3 taon. Sa dating na santartua, lari sa kwano, anana alatogin sila ng HPV.
Eu ofereci todo kuwan foundation. Ato geriawak na test, may oposud, ewa semuel HPV. Eri fefire seri firifit, iya patufit singeriare pagi. Ekari ni sakaw, dari tentu burut, nanabut, may patsakurel fefil medicine. Kirisa.
Tampakatilin cervical cancer arangan prevent na från att befika kärrum och vinjal må vi undvika förlika cervical cancer.
Ara ko min matan for kokos.
Be a well woman.
Mga pakla ba tingil?
Tufno rada pinipin ang raiwege da health rodad.
Piata li kailangan.
Dangin megat itatao tanya.
Maging malusog po tayong mga kababaihan.
Kitsvepi si puede petiveteresi Torres awal geriri sits puede papatsakut.
Take the first step to becoming a well woman and call Todu Guam Clinic today at 671-649-TODU to schedule an appointment.
Welcome back. This segment is brought to you by Winchell's. I forgot to say that the last segment was brought to you by 76 Circle K,
Yes.
but I mean, it was obvious with the leaderboard and the coffees and all.
So I didn't want donuts. You know, I am back at the gym, full force. You know.
Good job.
Yeah. So I actually want, and this does have sugar, but there's more fruits and.
That's the berry one. That's the berry acai bowl.
Yes.
From Winchell's. I haven't tried that. I got something and I haven't tried either. I normally get the prime rib. The prime rib sandwich, but because it was breakfast time, I got the. This is a turkey, cheese, and egg croissant. So stand by.
Okay. I got some coconuts, some kiwi. It looks like strawberries. Wait, let me try this.
Yeah, this is good stuff. And I was looking at their menu. Did you know they have lunch and dinner too? They have a curry plate, a stuffed plate, and something else. I can't remember. It was like $7.
Yeah.
It's just $7.
And clam chowder
for a
all
full meal.
day and all night, guys.
I'll stuff my face later. We have the crime report. This is good. There's the police need your help to find a couple of men. Good stuff. To find a couple of men involved in the shooting of a man in Malolo. It happened between 12:30 and 1 a.m. yesterday. So what happened was there was this man and his nephew who were fishing at Bear Rock. And these two men, described as Chamorro because of their accent, described as between their 30s and 40s and light complected.
Yeah.
One had long hair, one had short hair. Came up and asked for fish. And so the fisherman says, you know, we don't have any. I guess they do it for commercial reasons, and when they fish, someone took the fish already to bring somewhere else. I don't know. I'm not sure how all that description works, right? But they didn't have any fish. So they tell the men that, and the men, they leave in a black sedan. And so then the fisherman and his nephew, and I don't know if there are more people, but they pack up and they split to go to Malolo. And so as they were going past 76 Malolo, they noticed that same black sedan starts to follows them all the way into Dandan Road, and then someone or both, I'm not sure, open fire on the truck. It hits the man on his left thigh, and I think it was the wife who I spoke to get all these details. I think what she said was it went through and it hit the other leg. I'm not sure, but he was in surgery yesterday. And so what she's asking is if anyone in that area, in that Malolo area, has surveillance footage that faced out on the main road. I believe that's called Route 2, if I'm not mistaken, or on Dandan Road between 12:30 and 1 a.m. yesterday. Please turn it over to the police, especially if you see a black sedan following a white pickup truck. And hopefully that man, the victim, is okay. But the police are not saying much because it is an active investigation.
Of course.
Now, and we don't have any pictures or anything to show you about this, but Johnny's going to go ahead and tell you about stuff that we do. Oh, shoot, I'm so sorry. We do have pictures about.
Our first one is, I believe, Isaac Torres.
That was family violence, right?
Family violence, yes. And this is for yesterday's.
I think what happened was he got into an altercation with someone in his household.
Yes, in February.
In February, okay.
Yeah, they were only able to get him.
So he was running from the law or something?
Yeah, no, I think it just finally caught up to him. Someone made the report, and then
I think what happened was he pushed her first, and then she ran out, and then he ended up pinning her against a car, pulling her hair, pulled her down to the ground.
Yes.
And I think this is probably what caused the report. I'm just gonna guess. Just my guess.
The cell phone?
It broke the cell phone. $800 cell phone.
Allegedly.
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 Yeah.
So Isaac Cabrera Torres is charged with family violence and criminal mischief. We do not have his picture because once again, Major Anton Uggan is out on leave.
And that guy is good at getting stuff done.
Yes.
And so when he's not
Like
there,
that. Yeah.
you know, the DOC just lags behind.
Correct. Next up is Marvin Couch.
Spelled with a K.
Yeah. You know, like.
Yeah. So this guy has a long rap sheet.
Very long. Let me just read off some. I actually printed it. It was worth printing. Defendant's prior convictions: unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, DWI, driving without a valid driver's license, DUI, and family violence. And so, prior arrest.
He even has a bench warrant, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this guy. He on July 17, a store they opened up. So I guess they closed for
the weekend.
For the weekend.
TNW Corporation.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Home Improvement.
Oh.
They finally come in 2 days later to open up shop and find out everything from cars were rummaged through to all kinds of stuff.
Stuff was stolen, but they don't know the value right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it happened a day later.
Yes.
On July 18.
Yes.
My favorite part of the story is at the end where they find him.
Oh, let me read that.
Because they found him
parked
right next to the place.
Yeah, with the where the water blaster was located. Maybe he went back for the water blaster. Yeah, something.
Like, why would you stay in the same place? You know?
Yeah.
If you're gonna. Allegedly, he did this, right? And if he did do this, like, why stay in the same area?
Maybe he just didn't know they were gonna catch him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and he was surprised, and so he gave up, even though he was Mirandized. He gave himself up, and he spoke.
He said yes. You have they told him you have the right to remain silent. He said no. Here, I went there
twice.
I was there.
There twice. And I think he had an accomplice allegedly, right? Someone named Serengal or something.
Yes.
Serengal.
Yes.
So oh boy.
No, they don't even know. Had gone there with Serengal.
Serengal.
Yeah.
So this is the mugshot you're seeing is, if you look at the date, it's from 2021. This is an old mugshot of Mr. Couch. The new mugshot's not in yet, again, because DOC hasn't provided it.
Oh, he couldn't carry. He admitted to taking the water blaster and bush cutter, but he placed it behind the trash can so he can come back and get it again. So I guess he couldn't carry it out the first time.
I guess this would be a good part
So
of the show.
Marvin Couch was charged with burglary to a motor vehicle, criminal mischief, theft, 5 counts of theft, 6 counts of theft, and 2 counts of criminal mischief.
That's a lot of time in prison if he's convicted of all of that.
Oh, I didn't print that part.
But that would be a lot of time. And then all of his priors that still haven't been adjudicated.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So this would be a good time to just remind everyone. You know Bob Kutzke on Tall Tales 4 p.m. on The Point, right? At the beginning of every show, he reminds everyone about their Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. This will be a good time to remind everyone about their Fifth Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm. You have the right, you
have the right to remain silent. And according to these magistrates' reports, unless the police officers are lying, which sometimes I think they are, according to these magistrates' reports, most of the people who make it into the charges portion of the criminal justice system
are only charged because
they said something. Yeah. They talked, and after they were read their Miranda rights. Now again, I'm not sure if that's how it really happened, if they were really read their Miranda rights first and then they talked, if they talked at all. Mm-hmm. Like, I just have a hard time in my head believing that people who are pulled over and they have ice in their car or a pipe or whatever, anything illegal, just go ahead and say, yeah, officer,
here,
I know you pulled me over for a bad tail light.
It's right here in the glove box.
I just want to let you know.
No, this is what happens. They get pulled over. Once the cop comes with the light, can I see your guys, always have your license and register. Right when you see the blue light, grab that, get it out. Give it right when they get to the door.
Because you don't want them to see that ice pipe in the glove compartment.
You open your glove box, they can look into it, right? But this is what happens to people. Right when the cop comes, the middle console just opens for the cop.
It just miraculously, it disengaged. The lock disengaged.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden.
Yeah. But if you notice, you know what I've noticed, and I'm pretty sure our AG will notice it, because he's really keen into things. These officers better watch out, because it's the same officers, same name, same MO. They were
in the searches.
They were just traveling along Route 3, and it's the same MO. And it's the same cops, same MO. And I'm pretty sure. I really hope our AG makes them take a course again on civil rights.
Yeah, because it'll affect his cases. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm glad the criminals are being caught. I am glad about that, but there's a right way to do this.
Yeah, but at least be honest about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll bring you, what do we have?
Wait. Yeah, we're done here.
We have the road rage video, tax refunds, and then there's a death announcement.
Oh, and then I'll read the police, they sent out a press release.
About the road rage
About
thing?
the road rage.
When we come back from this short break, we'll have a short break this time.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yesterday there was a viral video going around. The candidates received so many messages that all they say is video.
Yes.
I know exactly what video it is. We're going to play it for everyone. You've seen it already, but this was Agana, right?
Yes.
This is Route 1 Agana,
Yes.
it looks like.
Yes.
And we don't know who the people are or anything, but go ahead, Zach, and play this. She was like, you better know.
She's the man in that. You know,
Our mic's hot, by the way.
ooh, see that? She hits her.
Allegedly.
Yeah. You know, I can almost guarantee you I don't know what they felt after that. If they felt more empowered or, you know, like why?
So I have a theory. Because road rage,
Maybe they
that
were
was
arguing.
maybe, but
Maybe.
but road rage has been going around. Like it's not just Guam.
No, maybe
it's
they were
across the
arguing.
country.
Wait, maybe they're arguing, and the guy's like, you know, you don't make me feel like a man. And the lady's like, huh? You want me to show you? You know, babe, you always do things, and I don't feel like a man. Like, ah.
You know,
just.
I don't know what the backstory is here, but like that guy that gets out of a trailer in the middle of some, I guess, like stateside, and he starts punching the window, and people are making all kinds of music videos out of it.
Yeah.
Road rage is going around. My theory is it's the heat. It is freaking hot, and when you're hot and disgusting on this island, it just makes you irritated. Someone was saying that the woman in the Infinity cut off the.
Yeah, right here's the police report.
Oh, okay,
It just
okay,
came
let's
in
hear it.
this morning.
Here's some answers to the road rage
It just
video.
came in at 9:48 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. A subject terrorizing social media viral video. On July 19, just before 5 p.m., a female adult was motoring on Route 1 by the Agana Marina. And after executing a lane change, she was confronted by two adults, a man and a woman. After coming to a stop due to traffic. It was apparent that after changing lanes, the operator and passenger of a black sedan became upset. A confrontation occurred between the three on the roadway while in traffic. The victim identified she was struck in the face while being confronted by the female passenger. While trying to grab her phone to call for police, the male operator of the black sedan returned to his vehicle and returned with what appeared to be a pistol that was pointed towards her head as the female continued to attempt to strike her.
Yikes.
The victim managed to flee and proceeded to file a report with Central Precinct Command. Shortly after, it was noted that the incident circulated on social media platforms and the two suspects were identified. The investigation is ongoing. Further information made available for release will be forthcoming.
Oh, come on, GPD. What are their names? Come on.
See it in tomorrow's magistrate's report.
That was like the most titillating news release from GPD in a long time.
Yeah.
With a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Son of a gun. Mm-hmm. Do you recognize any of those two?
No, I don't. I don't
recognize them either. But
Yeah.
man, you
No,
can,
but there's a lot. There's a
that
lot
lady,
of tens.
you can tell
on
that
Guam.
lady can.
There's a lot of tens on Guam.
You can tell that lady can jam. Just like not even where she's striking yet.
Yeah.
But the part where she's arguing and like she's doing that whole movement thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
With the head and everything.
Yeah.
And the arms and all that.
What
Look-
if there was children in that car?
I know, that was the first thing I wondered was whether there were kids in that car. Yeah, and so road rage, it's real. There's another video, but we didn't, it's outside of Consulas, but we didn't want to put it up because we have to do all the editing out of because there was a lot of cussing.
Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
But in this one, the guy actually opens the other guy's door, right?
You know, in that case, can if I had a gun, if I was a gun holder, and my life is being threatened by them opening my car door, can I? You know?
Don't quote me, but I believe Guam's Castle Doctrine law applies to your vehicle. Zach is saying yes. Isaac Nurbal,
Yeah,
our
but
producer,
we
saying
have
yes.
me as the gun owner. If I can flee, right? That's part of the law.
Your life would just have to be in danger.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you don't have to flee from your own home or your own car. You just have to have a reasonable suspicion that your life is in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
What I wonder is, what if the other person, like let's say you have a gun, but the other person doesn't have a gun.
Yeah.
They just want to call you out to fight or whatever.
Yeah.
You cannot shoot that person. The other person has to have like a knife or something.
You can't just shoot.
Oh, you cannot just shoot them,
Your
even if
life
they
has
what?
to be in danger.
Your life has. But what does your life has to be in danger really mean?
Like if they come after you with
Like if they come after you with a bat or something.
What if they're
some sort of
breaking
object.
into my window? What if they're coming through, you know, they're kicking in my door or breaking the window to climb in to rob my
Yeah.
house? I can't because I'm a convicted federal felon.
you
So
cannot
I'm
own a
chopped
gun.
liver. I have to just let them. Like, I want to shoot you, but I can't because.
All right.
So I just need to watch them or take knife lessons.
I'm going to be refreshing my WhatsApp all day today to find out when the GPD releases these two names. I want to know. I mean, really kidding.
Oh,
I just want to know their names.
Okay, tax refunds, guys. July 18, there was a news release from
Governor's office.
the governor's office, of course.
In behalf of the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
Yes. Okay. On July 17, the Department of Revenue and Taxation paid by direct deposit 491 individual tax payments totaling $1.4 million for tax year 2022 and prior. Error-free returns filed on or before June 4, 2023.
Oh, good job,
Yeah.
Reverend Tax and whoever, Governor's office too. And especially to you 491 tax refund people being paid.
Mm-hmm.
You might not actually have that money in your account yet, apparently.
You're not.
It takes a little bit of time. I don't know
like
why.
3 weeks, bro.
3 weeks? Are you
Yeah,
for real?
yeah.
Get out of here.
Yes.
From money from deal. You know what I bet is happening? Reverend Tax is releasing it. It goes to DOA, and DOA is not paying it for that period of time.
Yeah,
it cannot be a direct deposit issue.
You know, they have to print it gets sent to DOA. They print it. They need to verify, right?
They do an audit process.
So
yes.
that's where the holdup is.
Then they shouldn't release this until the check is actually released from DOA.
Yeah,
Because
until
this
it's
is-
printed and ready to go.
That's
right?
a lot of false hope for people.
Yeah.
Who are just struggling, you know. Especially Eric Rosario. He never got his tax refund yet. Son of a gun. I think that's been a couple of weeks already, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have a death announcement. One of our viewers, Art and Jackie Root, Art's father passed away. Arthur Scott Root Sr., I believe.
I went to school with all of them. So I know Naomi, I know Rowena, I know Steve, I know all of them. We're all from Sinahanya.
Okay.
And condolences. I am so sorry for your loss.
Very young, born in 1955.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our condolences to the family. Thank you all so much for joining us for this morning's edition of Kandit News. We will be back tomorrow morning, even though it's a holiday. We're not GovGuam employees, and so Johnny is like, yeah. So for our liberation thing that we're having at Jesse and Leanne's, what time is that? Because
6.
It's at 6 p.m.
I think so.
I need to reschedule with my brother-in-law then.
Who's the brother-in-law?
Glenn. He's on Guam now. I was supposed to go with him tomorrow. So, okay, I'll.
Invite him.
Okay.
Just ask Jess and Yan.
Okay.
I think they know him. They know him. Jesse worked in Saipan.
Oh, okay.
They know him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let Glenn know. I'll call Jesse and Leanne
Yes,
first.
ask Jesse
I'm
the
making.
man first.
I already got the pot roast.
Okay.
And I got everything for the potato salad that I'm making. But first of all, before we go, I'm so sorry. I want to say something about the price of groceries, because I got 2 trays of chuck roast, and I understand chuck roast is expensive these days. Remember when it was not expensive?
Don't talk to me about groceries.
But so
I'm dying here.
2 things of I am dying. 2 things of chuck roast, which was not even half the bill. Okay, it was under half, and I got a bag of potatoes, 2 things of pimentos, 2 things of chopped olives, a bag of cherries, which was $10. That was the luxury treat for the day. A thing of dill relish.
Mayonnaise.
I got mayonnaise. The butane burner thing, just the 4-pack.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Oh, and a bottle of beer that I used for my I fried fish this morning and I used the Marianne Grosby recipe. It didn't come out like Marianne Grosby
How do you know?
because it didn't look the same. It's crispy, it's good, but it didn't come out looking like her. Anyway, so all of that was $132.51.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's crazy.
Well, how about me? Zach, can you put that up? Put that receipt up? So me and my family, we went to Chamorro Village.
Yeah.
And here's adding on to my rant on Monday about the hotels and how we're treated, right? So this is me and my family. We got a crab something that was $15. That was my baby's own meal. Then 2 pirate fish is $50.
Parrotfish that's caught on Guam?
Yes, and it was dry. Just mind you.
Darn, $25 per parrotfish?
I don't know what's a DM. I forget. But and then the $28 one is like a seafood plate. It had crab, it had oysters, it had and they cooked it in like coconut milk with.
Was it a lot?
No, it's those packs you buy at Happy Mart that have the seafood batch. So it's pretty cheap.
Okay.
Okay, and then what is that? Oh, shrimp Kelaguen, $5. Then our drinks: 2 Coronas, 2 black teas, 1 water, and 1 juice. $130.
And they added a service charge?
And mind you, I was served in styrofoam plates. Okay? And they didn't serve us. We got up and got our own drinks at the refrigerator. And they charged us a service charge of $20. And mind you, we're from here. We're all locals sitting there, right? This is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
This is crazy. And they didn't serve us, guys, okay? The guy that cuts the coconuts, you want to drink juice, coconut juice, he cuts it, you put your straw in it, you drink it, you bring it back to him, he cuts it, imagine, that guy worked on my coconut more, like he worked hard to make sure that I had a great experience with my coconut.
How much was the coconut?
$5.
And no service charge.
And no service charge. Ask me what I gave him.
$25.
$26.
Nice.
You know, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. And then there's a Carabao ride. Wait. For $3. Okay?
Oh, $3 for a Carabao ride? For real?
You get on, Troy, you get on, you go about 10 feet, turn around, and you get dropped back.
Oh, okay. Well, it's an experience.
No, this is ridiculous. There should be somebody regulating these things, this pricing. This is ridiculous. Like, how can us as a family enjoy? I'm
going to be working on a story about an investigative piece about housing.
Even
and about
that.
How our own people, we really are being priced out of our own island.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. And when I say our people, I just mean anyone who calls Guam home. I don't necessarily mean Chamorro. I mean anyone who just calls Guam home. We're being priced out of our island.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And it's the people we elect in that are allowing this to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for my feel-good piece about Liberation Day tomorrow, based on my experience with my grandmother, who is from Maritzo and is a war survivor. I've told this story to friends, but I don't think I've ever written it down. It's a pretty cool story. And after you read the story, I believe many of you are going to be taking metal detectors to the area between Maritzo and Willow. You know the story,
Yeah.
right? You know the story.
I do.
And so thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for all the stories coming from Kandit. On behalf of all of us, peace be with you and God bless you.
Thank you.
Ilinala Ipalawan, Sinyabula, Minaletnya, Agan Bravo, Itatataunya.
Yet cervical cancer continues to pose a constant risk to women today due to low awareness.
Cervical cancer pasiye masek wan matan sa kontilo kinyaki. Finkom somono, pap smear and HP vaccination isa na cashing tulo kinya.
Dapat ko radil amla mukar. Ego mga laklangar radil. Nagtamare rin mo raw usong ala. Yung raw guru la. Ramak nitalakta. Rektel umaralir.
Ang mga babaeng may edad 21 pataas ay kailangang magpapaptest kada 3 taon. Sa dati na sontartua, lari sa kwano, anana alatokin sila ng HPV.
Ewofisin todo kuwan foundation. Atogeriawak na test may posud ewasemwet HPV. Erifefire serifirifit iya patufit singeriare pagi. Ekari ni sakawar dari tentu wurud nanabud may patsakurel fefil medicine. Kirisam.
Tampakatilin cervical cancer arangan prevent na från överfikatjusharum nuviniyal mahabi unkotafulay ka cervical cancer.
Ara ko min matan fokokos.
Be a well woman.
Mga pakla ba dingiyo?
Tufna kada pinipin ang tayo da health rodat.
Piyata li kailangan.
Zangin Meggat, Itatataunya.
Maging malusog po tayong mga kababaihan.
Kitsvepi si pue peti veteresi Torres awal geriri sits pue papatsakut. Take the first step to becoming a well woman and call Todu Guam Clinic today at 671-649-TODU to schedule an appointment.